Hello, everyone. Today we start our unit on data analysis, and our student expectation is going to be 4.9a. That tells us to represent data on a frequency table and a dot plot. We're going to also solve problems using that data in whole numbers. So let's take a look at our first information, our first set of information. I've got some information here about the favorite flavors that the students in Ms. Pace's class voted for. I see that they've already labeled my two sides. I have ice cream flavors and number of students. This is the frequency table. Here is where I'm going to write down the names of the flavors and put a tally mark. So it's going to look like this because I have vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. So now to do my little marks. Each mark equals 1 because it doesn't say otherwise. I always check for a key. So whenever I do this, I need to make sure that I keep track of it. So I mark it out, and I've got one tally mark for vanilla, another one, got one for chocolate, and I try so hard to make sure that I don't forget to cross them out because I don't want to count it twice or not count it at all. Another one for vanilla. This helps me keep my information organized. And a lot of times they give fourth graders lots and lots of information, lots and lots of data that they have to sort through. So keeping track of it this way is very effective. One for strawberry here, got one for chocolate, but because I'm at 4, I'm going to do the number 5 as a diagonal line. Another 5 here, so I do the diagonal line. Start a new one for the vanilla, new one for the chocolate, one for strawberry, one more for strawberry, and the last one for chocolate. After I do my tally marks, I count them and I want to write the digit down. These digits help my brain see the number that I'm working with and not just the marks. After I do that, again, I check for a key and there is no key, so I'm going to start with my dots. It starts with chocolate. Chocolate had 7, so I will make a stack of 7 dots. 3, 4, 5, 6, whoopsie, 7. Strawberry had 2 votes, 2 little dots. And now I put 6 for vanilla. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, 4, 5, 6. Now, what if the question was, how many more students picked the vanilla than the strawberry? If I analyze that question and I'm comparing 2 different flavors, I want to know which one had more, which one had less. So I'm going to subtract. In my plan, I'm going to work with those numbers. But before I do, I want to write my digits up here as well because chocolate had 7, strawberry 2, and I had 6 for vanilla. So when I look at my information now, it's easier for me to decide what numbers I'm going to use for my plan. And once I solve this, I know that 6 minus 2 equals 4, so that will be my answer. 4 more students picked vanilla than strawberry. Let's take a look at another one. Here, we're still talking about ice cream, but this time we have a different set of data, and these are the ice cream cones on Friday. I want to write my number here. I have 5, 10, so 14. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 5, 10, 15, 20. As I look here, I'm looking around and I do see that I have a key, so I need to make sure that I read it. And it says that each dot that I'm going to put on here will equal 2 ice cream cones. So when I look at my strawberry and it's 14, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count by 2s. So this is up to 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and I write my number 14 right here. Moving on to vanilla. I have 18 votes for vanilla, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and I definitely want to write my numbers because these numbers are all 2-digit numbers. And moving on to chocolate, 20, so I'm going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Can anyone tell what mistake I made? Yes? You over there? What mistake did I make? Let me count these over again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. You're right. So what I should do here is I better go back and fix it. The good thing about math is that whenever you see a problem, you can fix it. You can problem solve. That's why it's important for us to double check and go back and see if we wrote our numbers down correctly. Because when you get distracted, it could cause you to easily make a mistake. Or if you're a little bit nervous, perhaps you have a lot of work to do and you want to get it all done. Those are distractions, and you want to double check your work. Here we have it. This is our dot plot for the ice creams on Friday. Let's say that the question was, how many ice cream cones were there on Friday? How many ice cream cones were there on Friday? If you analyze that, you would think to yourself, well, let me put it all together. I'm going to combine it. And when I combine, I'm going to add. So you're going to add 14, 18, and 20. If I do my mental math, I can count the tens first, and it would be 2, 10, 20, 30, 40. And if I count my ones, it would be 0 plus 8 plus 4, which is 12. And then here I have 40 and 50 and then 52 total votes. Let's move on to the next one. On the next one, we have another dot plot. Whoopsie. Let me go back. And it says that it shows the number of customers a candy store had on 10 different mornings. These are lots of dots. I'm definitely gonna have to use my strategy where I write the number for each of the columns for each of the days. I don't see a key, so it's not telling me that each dot equals 2, so I'm assuming it equals 1. So the first thing I would do is write my numbers on here. Now for my question, let me analyze it. It says, how many more customers did the store have on days 8 and 9? So I want to combine days 8 and 9 right here. When I combine them, I know that I have to add them up. And how many more did they have? Because that was a lot compared to day 4. So day 4 is going to be the other piece of information that I'm going to use. I always like to make an estimate whenever I'm doing this. And based on my estimate, it might be around a 1-digit number. What do you think the answer might be, just by looking at it? So the first thing I do is I'm going to combine days 8 and 9. So that's 12 plus 9. Using my mental math, I know that this is 10, 11, 10, 20, and then 21. And my day 4 was 11, so I've got 11 right here, and I can go ahead and subtract, and my answer is 10 more. So my number was not a 1-digit number. It was actually a 2-digit number, but you always want to try and do the mental math and try to come up with an answer. Okay, so if I was to write this down, I'd write it down in a complete sentence. 10 more customers arrived on days 8 and 9 than on day 4. Let's take a look at another one. This is about cookies. And again, there's a lot of dots. And the information tells us that the dot plot below shows the number of cookie pies eaten during a cookie eating contest. And I want to make sure I write all of my numbers down. The numbers were not on this one, but they are on this one. Yikes, clicking too fast. So my question is, let me see if I can get to it and stay on it. Doesn't want to stay on it. What is the total number of cookies that were eaten? So in this case, if I'm going to analyze it, I'm going to ask myself, well, like altogether, is that what they're asking for? What is the total number of cookies that were eaten? And in that case, I would have to do my addition. And what I would do here is I want to look for my tens first. So I'm going to count 10 here. And then I have 8 and 2 makes another 10, so that's 20. 6 and 4 makes 10, so that's 30. 30 cookie pies so far. I see that I have 2 more in the tens place, so 40 and 50 but don't forget the 1. So 51, 52, 53. So far I have 53. Plus 3 would give me 56. Plus 5 would give me 61. Plus 1 would be 62. So the total number of cookies that were at the cookie contest was 62. And I would write my answer in a complete sentence saying the number of cookies that were eaten was 62 cookies. And that's how I would do that. Now I'd like to ask you to please join me in making and creating your own dot plot. So if you can please take out a sheet of notebook paper, take out some markers or a pen, pause it if you have to, but I want you to write the title on top, which is dot plot. I want you to look at this information and write it down, and then I want you to make your own dot plot. So to get you started, it's going to look something like this. You need your number line on the bottom. You need your different categories, the mac and cheese, sandwich, soup, hamburger, chicken nuggets, and then I would like for you to take care of the dots here. If there was an answer, a key, it would just say each dot equals 1. So go ahead and do that. If you have to pause it, go ahead and pause it, starting now. Give it a shot. Okay, so we're back now, and this is what your dot plot should look like. You should have amount of, you should have 5 here, 5 dots, right? And then 8 here. The soup, the number of dots for the soup, hamburger, and chicken nuggets. After that, I hope you remember to write the digit for each of the categories with their dots so that it becomes organized. You want it to be very organized. Now let's say that this question, that this question asked you how many of the foods, which of these choices was selected the most? That would be sandwiches. Which one was selected the least? And you would say those were chicken nuggets. So that is how we do the dot plot. So I want everyone to have a great day, Tigers. I'm glad you joined us, and good luck today on your lesson.